I grew up in a flat off Tomkell Road. My dad was a tailor. My mum was a housewife. And she helped him in the shop sometimes. Very traditional working class family. They had like a kitchen, lounge, which is my bedroom, my parents' bedroom. And the bathroom was a small chest of drawers. And I found my mum's bra in there, in the chest of drawers. And then something snapped in my head. I was 5. I could still see it in my head. Pink salmon, shiny. I used to go to Foyle's bookshop and look at books on psychology. They saw it as a mental health issue. And I think that was a rather moralist judgment to make on people without actually knowing their circumstances. My parents never talked about it. Uncles and aunts never talked about it. No one understood it. In fact, my mother came back early one day, found me with a dress on. I was about 12 or 13 at the time, and she was quite shocked, I think. It's one of my earliest embarrassing moments. These days, there are no embarrassing moments. When I got married, I thought the whole thing would fade out, and I was completely wrong. It just got stronger and stronger. We met at 21. By the time I was 22, I'd got engaged, got married at 23. First child at 25. By the time I was 36, I had 5 kids. I'm running a business. I'm trying to cope with gender and supposedly being a family, a father figure in a family. But all this time, the gender was getting worse and worse. I had this intense desire to be a woman and yet like girls. And the two were completely out of sync, which is quite common, I think, with trans people.
It's nice to have some cake. I was chatting to someone and they knew I was an artist. They said, oh, well, let me introduce you to Margaret. You know, she's an artist too. Margaret was sort of standing there, you know, I had a chat to someone up at the tea counter. And eventually we was introduced and we got chatting. And we've been bestest buddies ever since, haven't we?
Yeah.
Bestest friends, yeah.
We're almost a sister. In a way, our backgrounds are quite similar. We're both like EastEnders in a way.
And she was like my mentor, told me all the things I needed to do and where I needed to go. And when we grew up in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, it wasn't the done thing, you know, not like it is today where things are very open. You
No
can do
internet.
that.
No internet.
There was no internet and, you know.
No information.
I tried to tell my parents about it, but I just used to get a clap around the ear, you know, and told to stop being stupid, step out of it, you know. You can't be a girl, you're a boy, and that's the end of that. So I would live one life to the world as a man, and my own life I would live privately as a woman, you know, as a female.
This is a picture of a day of destiny, 10th of January 2002. Up to that point, I'd been married. She had developed Alzheimer's, and by January the 8th, it got so bad, at that point they took her in the hospital. And I expected her to come out, but she didn't. And I had the decision to make, am I going to stay as I am, or I'm going to jump? And I decided, I'm going to jump. I'm going to transition. So I've dived off the bridge into the LGBT waters below. I contacted a gender specialist for an appointment, which I managed to see in about 6 weeks later. I went to see him, we had a chat. He says, I suppose you want hormones? I said, yes, please. At that point, I was dressing in the morning as a woman, going to work as a man in the afternoon, being a woman in the evening. 2 months later, we went to Brighton Pride. I decided not to take any male clothes at all and be a woman the whole weekend at Brighton. we found this other place called St Aldridge in Somerset with about 120 trannies in there. And I went along. I was dressed 11 days on the trot. No male clothes. Brilliant. I used to say this to people, if you want to dress, just dress. Don't stop or you'll go crackers. You've just got to do it. It's the only way to let the heat out of the kettle. It's part of your personality, which is trying to escape from a prison cell. There's no real choice. You're just driven. It's like an incredible, overwhelming urge. I got to use makeup and various wigs as an expression of my hidden self. Oh yeah. Not anymore, because this is me now. Because once you've had surgery and you've transitioned, the rage is all gone. All the problem's over. It should be. I'm sitting in the bed in the hospital on Monday thinking, scary. A lot of people, I'm told, they think, I can't do this, put the coats on and walk out. And it did occur to me, I thought, I can't walk out. In 2 years, I'll be back again. I've got to see this thing through. Got to man up. I still can't believe I've done it sometimes. I've done it. And I never told anyone I was going to do it. No one in the family knew. I just disappeared for 2 months, you know. I think what they're like, you know. So, I actually got a text congratulations from my youngest son. My older son freaked out. Ruth, his daughter said, oh, that's all right, no problem. And my youngest daughter said, oh God, I can't take this. This is too much. I can't take it, she said. I thought, too late now, done it. I saw it, quite frankly, as getting rid of a birth defect. I was never male. My parents had a daughter. They didn't realise. I never exchanged sex at all. It's the way you are. You're born 5'8". You can't make yourself 5'10". I only realised this later because living as a woman, I found so easy, and I just couldn't understand why it was so easy because it was just meant to be.
It's like you're a woman, but when you're interacting with the world, you're pretending to be a man. And I stayed that way all the way up until I was 55. I thought I was just going to die an old, lonely old git, you know. I had a major catastrophe in my life. My dad died. My mum had already died. But my dad had died. I was very close to my dad. And it kind of just, my world fell apart, you know. He had all these dreams of what he wanted to do with his life. And I have all these dreams of what I wanted to do with my life. And I just thought, I'm going to grab them. I'm going to take them. Regardless of what happens, I'm going to take them.
This is not a rehearsal.
And I just suddenly dropped being a man bit. I just decided I wasn't going to live that life anymore.
A lot of people I've met, I've transitioned in their late 50s, 60s. Not unusual, because by that time your husband or wife has left, kids have gone, you're on your own, and it's a crisis moment. And you can sit and do nothing, or you can take control. And this is about taking control. It's the most important, I think, to take control in your life. Because if you don't control your life, someone else is. It's as simple as that. I went back to work and my boss said to me, oh, you don't look well. Well, actually, I'm changing sex. And he said, well, we'll have to speak to some human resources about this. I mean, they didn't know really how to cope with me, actually. I was allocated a disabled toilet on the 5th floor. Trans people, I definitely feel stigmatised. For no apparent reason whatever. I think a lot of people would definitely say they find it hard to get jobs. They find it hard to get relationships. They find it hard to access the sort of general system. They're stigmatised from family members. It's probably more socially acceptable to be a bank robber, quite frankly, than being trans sometimes, I think. My advice, for what it's worth, is you've got to plan who to tell, when to tell them. Make sure you're confident with your doctor. Meet other trans people. That's what I would say. Talk about your history of other people and their histories, and see where they went wrong and where they went right. It's really important to know other people have gone down the same road.
I think it's going to be such a massive thing, to transition. I'd have all these obstacles and all these people would object to me. I'd have people shouting abuse at me, and it wasn't anything like that whatsoever. I was just totally accepted by everyone, and nobody didn't bother anybody. In fact, people admire you for taking a stand. People admire you for being yourself. People admire you for not living in the dark any longer. We're just ordinary people, We're not weirdos. We're not outsiders. We're not, Martians from outer space. We're just people living our own lives.
The gay world was 30 years ago, but I think we're very quickly catching up. We're being accepted because we're being admired for standing up, I think. The most comfortable place I've ever been in is down the Roman Road, Bethnal Green, with my shopper on a wet afternoon, looking in the stalls of the pound shop, and I felt completely at home as a woman, old woman, walking down with the pound shop, looking for plants in there. No glamour whatsoever. That's me.